Hi, welcome to another edition of Chicago Abate's TV show. My name is Patrick Jones, I'm the president, and tonight we're taking calls and text messages. You can call us at 312-738-1060. If you want to text us, be nice when you text. You know who's on the phones tonight. Okay, Oscar is on the phones tonight. He's not in the field. Hey, it's the voice from above. Anyways, you can text us at 708-280-6053. I forgot my own phone number. Call us, text us, whatever you want to do. Be nice. Oscar's watching. You don't want to upset the big guy. So, tonight we have a couple of things to talk about. In the last week, we've had 3 motorcycle fatalities. One just this morning or late last night. It was a female rider. She was struck by a car who I believe might have struck a minivan, from what I understand, and he fled the scene. We don't have any details on that. Another rider was killed south on I-57. So it's riding season, folks. I mean, it's no joke. We're out there and we're trying to be as conspicuous as we can. Tonight, we're going to be playing with these little gadgets, okay? I don't know if you know what they are. These are sound meters to test how loud it is. So in the studio tonight, let me pop one on here and see what kind of readings we get in the studio. Out in my car, I was getting a reading of about 104.7 in my car. Right now, just talking to you all out there, let's zoom in a little bit. Am I zoomed? Woo. Okay, so just zooming in, right now my voice is speaking at a level at about 80 decibels, between 60 and 80 decibels. I believe the decibel rate that they're looking for is in the 80s, 82, 85, I'm not sure. They've got a bill in Springfield right now, and what they're doing is they started with, it was going to be a bill just for Chicago because of the buildings downtown and Lakeshore Drive. The sound resonates, it bounces off the buildings, and it's pretty loud. It is loud, but it's not only motorcycles. It's them little cars with the modified exhaust. It is sport bikes, it's trucks. There's all kinds of noise down there that bounces off. And my son and I were talking on the phone today. He was around Chicago and Thatcher, and I was at North Avenue, and I had 2 bikes go screaming by me. He was deep in the woods, and he actually heard the bikes go screaming by me without my phone, and I heard them in the background of his phone. So they were 2 sport bikes. They were really loud. I'm sure they were custom exhaust, but they pay for it. They buy it. What are you going to do? You can modify. There's no rule against that, but you want to keep it legal. Your stock pipes, some stock pipes are louder than the sound ordinance. We're going to try to have Dan Harper call in tonight. He's going to tell us what's going on down in Springfield. The other thing that came up why I went to the state board meeting for Abate was it's not a law, there's no proposed law, but they're talking about lane splitting again in Illinois. I'm not against lane splitting. I'm not for lane splitting. That should be a choice that you got to make on your own. I don't think there should be any law. But the thing is, if you come up to Chicago, we're talking about the people down south in Abate, they're thinking that lane splitting's fine. They want to get it down there. They think everything will be good. I ride downstate a lot. I ride my bike all through the state of Illinois. Down in the Springfield area and Mattoon, all the way down to Marion, West Frankfort, Cairo. I said it right, Cairo, not Cairo. Down in those areas, I have never, ever once been stuck in traffic. I've never had to go around anybody. I've never had to do anything remotely related to lane splitting down there. So when Sleepy, he yielded to me, and they recognized me from the floor, I got up and I made a speech, and I said simply this. I said, in regards to lane splitting, I told him about my riding down south, and I said, if you come to Chicago and you try to lane split, you will die. That's plain and simple. People in Chicago are not ready for lane splitting. They'll open a door on you. They'll swerve at you. They'll put you into a curb. They'll put you into a rail. The cars in Chicago, and there are some rude drivers up here, I got to tell you, they are guarding that lane. They own that lane. When I'm riding my motorcycle, whether I'm in the left lane or the right lane, yeah, left and right, I know my left and right, whether I'm in the left lane or right lane, and I do switch back and forth so I can see what's ahead of me, what's ahead of the car. Cars try to jam into your lane with you. They do. They think that, you don't need that much room, so when you're lane splitting, they're going to think the same way. You don't need that much room. And you're being rude by trying to share a lane with a car. Plain and simple, you lane split in Chicago, you probably die. If not, you wind up in a hospital, pay a lot of hospital bills. The guy who did it, he's going to just keep driving away, like these 2 accidents this past week. So, is lane splitting good? It works in California. This is the big argument. I keep getting this argument. California has it. California's had lane splitting for, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, over 40 years. For 40 years, the people of California have been driving with lane splitting. We do have a caller, so send that caller through.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Who would this be?
This would be the state legislative coordinator for Abate of Illinois. The guy that talked for a long time last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, in the studio, we've got the decibel meter going, and we're going between 60 and 82, 83.
Oh, yeah. So you're illegal.
I'm illegal in the studio, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's okay. I wanted to bring it into the Capitol today, and they wouldn't let. Well, I could bring it into the Capitol, but I couldn't bring it into the House chamber.
Why? They probably thought it was a recording device and didn't want you to bust them.
Yeah, probably. But it was loud in there today. Very loud.
So everybody, this is Dan Harper, our state legislative coordinator for Abate, who kind of prodded me into going downstate and speechify, and I speechified pretty damn good. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, made a few contacts today. The Chicago Fire Department, excuse me, did not know about Representative Christian Mitchell's bill, House Bill 2402. And when I showed it to them today, because it wants to limit emergency vehicles and ambulances to 100 decibels, they went, wait a minute. And I had a bunch of other fire departments there, and I said, it's a state bill. It's not just for Chicago. So, Abate's not about helmets anymore. It's about they want to try and target our motorcycles.
Exactly. So, it started out as a Chicago-only bill, correct?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
It was always a state bill. And what happened was, it was basically because Christian Mitchell's area is downtown Chicago and the South Side. But he has the Navy Pier area and Rush Street and that are part of his district.
Okay.
So people there were complaining about motorcycles and about noise and about, sound rising in their condos. So that's why he put this bill in.
Okay, now let's get into the readings of this bill, and let's go through this. To your knowledge, exactly what happened with the first and second reading?
Well, it's on the floor for a second reading. It hasn't been called yet.
Okay.
So they have to do a second reading and then a third reading by Friday.
Okay, now were there shenanigans?
Oh, well, you're talking about the 2 votes to get it out of committee.
Correct. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, and I spoke with State Representative John D'Amico, our good friend up on the north, our friend on the northwest side, a former legislative vest winner, and State Representative Michael Eunice, who is the minority spokesperson, and he's out of the Pekin area. And what happened was, and both John and Michael voted no. I don't know if you got a chance to pull up the those votes like I told you, Pat.
Okay. Give me the bill number again, Dan.
2402,
Is that House bill?
House bill.
Okay.
And when you get to that, up at the top where it says votes,
Okay, introduced February 3rd, 2017. View latest
Right,
bill text.
okay, up at the top, is there a votes?
It says votes, but it says there are currently no roll call votes recorded for this bill.
Right, okay. What you need to do then is go down where it has the listing of everything through it,
Okay.
you know, of all the actions.
Yes?
Text, or on the vote, there's 1440404, and then there's one that says 0504.
Yeah, it's not letting me opening any of that.
Really? Okay.
Yep. They locked it. They know we're onto their stuff. You know, seriously, and I'm not joking, you know that they know we're onto their stuff, you know.
Oh, yes. What happened, I just happen to have it on my phone. So if you give me a second here.
Okay. It's due pass as amended. That was March 30th.
Right.
Yeah, it's not letting me open any of that. I think they locked us out this time, Dan.
Okay. So the first one was 4-4 on March 29th.
Right.
Now, can you, if you click on the Transportation Committee, will it come up with the committee members?
I'm trying to do that now, but I'm telling you, let's see. Nope. For some reason, it's
Okay.
committees. I can get committees.
Okay.
Let's see.
Transportation, traffic safety.
Scrolling down, baby. Go ahead. Keep talking while I'm doing this.
So anyway, Tim Butler, who's on that committee, voted no. John D'Amico, who's on that committee, voted no. Marty Moylan voted no vote. Michael Eunice voted no. He's on that committee. Ryan Spann, who's on that committee, voted no. David Harris, who's on that committee, voted yes. Melissa Conyers-Irvin voted yes. Frances Hurley, who I can't remember offhand if she's on that committee or not, voted yes.
Okay.
And a substitution for, I believe, Maurice Evans, the vice chairman.
Right, I see Marcus Evans. Here, I got John D'Amico, Marcus Evans, Michael Eunice, Tim Butler, Melissa Conyers-Irwin,
Yeah.
David Harris, Frances Ann Hurley, Martin Moynihan, and Ryan Spain.
Right. Well, Marcus Evans was replaced by Christian Mitchell.
Okay.
He's sponsor of the bill.
And how can they do that?
They can actually do anything they want if the member says they're not going to be there.
Okay. So was
But-
that a buy-off?
Martin, well, I don't know, because Martin Moylan
Right.
did the no vote, so that made it 4-4, so it failed.
Okay, and where's his district office at? He's up in Des Plaines.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I got him
So
up
he
here
didn't
right
want
now.
So he didn't want to vote because he was he's a Democrat and didn't want retribution. John D'Amico is our friend. He's a Democrat. He don't, he's our guy.
Right, because we take care of him, he takes care of us.
Exactly. So then the next day, you had Tim Butler, David Harris, Ryan Spain, John D'Amico, Francis Hurley, and Michael Lewis. They're all on that committee, right?
Right.
Well, Christian Mitchell still replaced Evans. Stephanie Kiefowit, who's out in the Aurora, Elgin area,
Right.
replaced Marty Moylan.
And it's Ryan Spain, he's down in Peoria.
Right. So Stephanie Kiefowit replaced Marty Moylan on the committee. And Leticia Wallace replaced Melissa Converse
Irvin?
Irvin, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of her, but she's from Chicago.
Right.
Okay.
So, but evidently she didn't want any part of this shenanigans. So they had to bring in 3 ringers to get this bill passed.
Okay, so now on Friday is going to be the third reading? Or,
They have to do it. They have to do a third reading by Friday. For them to take the third reading is a vote. They have to do a second reading tomorrow or Thursday for it to
okay,
be brought up for a third reading on Friday. But Friday's the bill deadline. If they don't do a third reading by then, it should be dead. Now, the reason I say it should be dead is because it would be re-referred to rules, but House leadership can always pull it back out.
okay,
So it should be dead. Normally when a bill gets re-referred to rules or passes the deadline, the problem is sometimes they can change that deadline. House leadership can.
okay,
So-
but how often does that happen? I mean, on a bill like this?
Probably what they're doing right now, and that's why we need everybody to call their state representative and tell them to vote no on 2402. Chocolate Thunder and the guys down in Windy City need to call their state reps to let them know to vote no on it. And what they're doing right now is they're kind of polling the House
Okay,
to see if they've got enough where it may go somewhere. The thing is, with like the fire departments and stuff now finding out that this is there, they're going to get more pressure not to pass it.
good, because it affects motorcycles, vehicles, motorcycles, and
Cars.
cars, ambulances, fire trucks, emergency
Right.
vehicles basically too. How can you tell an emergency vehicle, hey, lower your siren when you go past our house? Really?
Yeah.
What kind of idiot would try to introduce a bill like that? You know?
Anyway, he probably did it for the right, what he felt were the right reasons.
What, his girlfriend?
And what it is, there has to be a happy medium. The problem is these decibel, uh, yourself, we've been checking, and while it seems like they're loud, they're not that loud.
Right.
If
you crack a throttle, it's going to be loud no matter where you're at. Your bike,
right.
You have stock pipes on your bike. Okay, you're
right.
one of the few, by the way, in the city.
Yeah.
Your bike is quiet when we're riding, but you crack your throttle and your bike kicks up.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's not obnoxiously loud. It's loud. I can't hear your bike running when mine's running. And Junior, his bike is loud as hell.
Right.
Plus, you were at Llama, and you were checking sound on bikes at Llama. What'd you get down there?
After the TV show last week.
Okay.
And some of them were fine. Some of them were loud. And what happened was, if you had more than one bike, it pushed everybody over. So now how are you going to be able to distinguish who in that group is loud? Unless you pull the whole group over, now you have to take a reading on every bike.
Right.
Or write everybody a ticket.
We know a pack of riders goes really loud. We do know that.
Right.
Okay, so there's no way getting
really?
around
I've
that.
never. Yeah. But and because that put some people over that were not over. Then some people turned on their radios, and that extra sound from the radio put them over.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
We were checking by my car, and my car radio, not even turned up all the way, I can hit 104.7 on the decibel meter.
Well, there you go.
So, and if I got the windows open, you're going to hear it outside.
Yeah.
By the way, I have my car back. I drove my own car today. I don't need my children driving me around anymore.
So the question is, if they're shooting a decibel meter at you, are they hearing your radio or are they hearing the exhaust?
Right. And they don't have, I don't believe there's a directional decibel meter, where they can aim it at a particular bike or a particular area. I think it's
I'm sure there probably is.
Right.
Well, you're talking probably thousands of dollars.
Right. And let me ask you this. So you get pulled over. They arm every police car with this decibel meter or one like it.
Right.
You're driving down the street. Now, when you say decibels have to be within 82 decibel, blah, 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 is that police officer going to be trained and certified to use this equipment? Is he going to stick it next to your pipe? If he sticks it next to your pipes, even you're loud.
Right. Well, and the point being, that's why this bill targets motorcycles.
Right.
Because what they're going to do is wait till there's a group of motorcycles sitting somewhere, and then they're going to go ahead and, start, well, I got to check your bike, I got to check your bike, I got to check your bike. They're not going to be 50 feet away.
Right. Oh, is that the distance from 50 feet then?
Well, I believe it's 50 feet from the center line.
Okay.
Meaning, but it would be like a radar gun where they're sitting in the right lane and you're in the left lane.
Right.
That's a deal which I don't see that being 50 feet either.
Well, no, most roads are 66 feet. I know that because I deal with it a lot.
Right.
So, like North Avenue would be 66 feet to the center line, 66 feet on both sides. So, where are they going to sit? Are they going to sit exactly at that 16-foot line? And say,
well,
yeah, you were loud.
Yeah. Well, I know, and that's really why we kind of oppose it, is because it's too vague.
Exactly. And we know what vagueness gets us with laws, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. We got to take your bike in and make sure that the VIN numbers are correct. Here's your parts back 2 years later. We don't have the means to put your bike back together. Remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And that's one of the reasons why Abate of Illinois has a very good relationship with Secretary of State Jesse White. Because when we explained that to him, he stopped the Secretary of State's police from doing that.
Right.
And that they have to give the bike back in the same manner it was received.
Hey, Dan, we're wrapping up right now. We're going to continue this next week. So hopefully you'll be in
Okay.
town. If not, we'll get you on the show.
No, we're going to be down here for the next 6 weeks.
All right, we'll call you in. Thanks again,
All right,
Dan.
talk
Dan
to you later.
Harper, our
All right.
legislative director for the state of Illinois. Good night, folks. We'll pick this up again next week.